Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Roundabout Theatre Company continues their 50th anniversary season with a new production of Michael Frayn's hilarious comedy, Noise is Off, featuring a stellar cast led by two-time Tony Award winner Andrea Martin. And we're here at the American Airlines Theatre to meet the company. So here we are. What's it like living in the world of Noise is Off so far?
Oh, it's just boisterous and joyful, and I'm rehearsing with this cast, and I'm on stage with them, and I'm laughing like I'm not in it. What is going on? Like literally, I'm not in character. I'm just laughing in wonder. It's so meticulously written. It's I have a feeling that if we just play it very real with a lot of intention, it's going to be funny. I don't think you have to add much to it. That's my thought. We'll see.
No, because it's like a week and a half into it. Yeah.
Talk to me on the second preview. Yeah.
What was that first table read like? I love to talk to actors about that first day, especially with a cast like this.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty great because we really didn't know each other, and a lot of us didn't even audition, so it was like hearing everybody for the first time. It was electric. It was, how do I want to really describe it? Playful, loose. People were going for it. There was nothing pretentious or precious about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Jeremy Herron, I love. He came here and did Wolf Hall's Part 1 and 2. What's he like working as a director so far?
Well, he's very, very smart, but also a kid. So that is fabulous to see. I mean, there's nothing better than making him break up, really. Because, he's very cerebral, like many British directors. Well, he did Wolf Hall. He took that on. But he's, really playful and loves comedy. So it's actually a really great blend for this piece.
Hey, just talk about the role so far. What a great role to play. What's she like?
Well, so I play two roles. So I play Mrs. Clackett. My acting coach said I must do the accent 24 hours a day. Who am I, Daniel Day-Lewis? Oh, God. Maybe I should. I play Mrs. Clackett, and I play Dottie. So Dottie's the actress, and Mrs. Clackett's the part that Dottie's playing. So it's fabulous because I get to play two different characters, really. So it's wonderful.
And just being here at Roundabout, this is your Roundabout debut.
Yeah, it is my Roundabout debut. Not seeing shows, but being in it. Yeah, great.
So here we are. How excited are you to be living in this world of Noise is Off?
I'm so excited. I think when I was in college, they had a screening of the movie back in the early '90s for us, and I'd just gotten into theater at that time, and ever since then I'd wanted to be in this play because I love physical comedy and just thought it was so much fun. So to be doing it here on Broadway with this company, it's literally something I've wanted to do for 25 some years. So I'm very excited.
What a great cast!
I know. Not only great, actors and everything, but everybody is just so lovely to work with. I mean, just the nicest group of people, the most supportive group of people. We're just having a great time, and then on top of that, everybody's just so good. I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. So,
tell me who you play.
I play Gary Lejeune, who is playing Roger Tramplemain, and Gary. I think he probably fancies himself one of the more prepared people in the cast. He also, I think, decides to take on the mantle of cast spokesman sometimes, whether that's really earned or desired or not. The problem is he doesn't communicate very effectively. And also he turns out he has a very jealous disposition and a bit of a temper to go with it. So. He's just loads of fun to play, although a very active fellow in this place. It's going good.
Hey guys.
It's going. They don't.
Hi, David.
I was just speaking for the cast.
As he tends to do.
About what?
Just stuff, things that we have to. Well, because if you really think about it, then it's really we're having a good and I mean it's fun times and
content. He's content driven when he speaks, if you can tell.
So
he's it's all about. And what about you?
I gotta go check the mirror. Bye, guys.
Bye.
So we're having a
How do
nice
you
time.
keep a straight face in the rehearsal room?
I'm not, I'm in pain a lot of the time.
That was hilarious. Being here at Roundabout, what it means to you.
I'm so happy to be back because I was here for much ado about nothing. I was here for Importance of Being Earnest, and that was just I felt so fortunate to be in that production of that play here, and they take very good care of you here, and I love this theater and the backstage crew. So to come back to do another kind of comedy rock concert as that show felt like on good nights, I'm happy to be back under this roof.
So here we are. First of all, welcome back to Roundabout.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's really nice to be home again. That's what it feels like.
What an incredible cast you're all working with.
Oh my God, and everybody's nice, which is the best part. Everybody's incredible, and we just laugh a lot and are having a really, really good time so far. So it's good.
This is such a zany comedy. Jeremy has put together this zany cast. I mean, what's the rehearsal room like?
Well, I've never done a farce before, so it's very fast and it's very wild, and it is a bit like doing math. So and I'm very bad at math. So I feel like I'm running to keep up with everybody, actually. But it's nice to be in a room with other actors who you know are inspired by and aspire to be like. Especially, Andrea Martin is a dream for me to work with her. So we're gonna try to do Night Mother together. We thought that'd be good.
I love that. You should do it during a break in rehearsal.
Version of Night Mother. Yeah.
We are so there. BroadwayWorld is so there. Night Mother with you two.
I think we need that, right? We need that.
Especially during the holidays.
Exactly. Perfect. It's perfect.
Now talk about who you play.
I play Poppy Norton-Taylor, who's one of the stage managers. And it's actually quite fitting that I feel like I'm running to keep up with everybody because she's kind of running to manage everybody. And I think it's very hard for her. And she's in love with the director, which complicates things much, much more because he's not paying any attention to her. He's much more, fixated on the girl in the underwear. So it's hard, it's hard for her, I think, this play. She's in her own little tragedy, in a way, amidst this craziness. Yeah.
It must be so great. There's so much physical comedy in this show, and the audience is going to add that extra character in to sort of time the whole thing, right?
No, I think it's going to be really, really fun to sort of see what the audience reactions will be to this. I think we're going to have a really good time with that. They'll add that other element, for sure.
I just love how your career has worked here, going from the brilliant Bad Jews, which was small and funny too, to this huge farce.
Darkly funny though. Yeah, I am sort of used to like that kind of like dark comedy thing. So to go to this huge farce is feels like a big leap, but it's very, very exciting for me. I love a good challenge.
Looks stunning.
Thank you.
Welcome to Roundabout.
No, isn't it crazy? I'm part of the family now. Yeah.
What's it like living in the Roundabout world?
Great. Everybody's amazing. Everybody's happy, and we're working on an amazing piece together, and the cast is ridiculously talented. So, yeah, we're having a good time.
This is a dream cast. I mean, for an incredible show like this, this is like the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
What's it like in the rehearsal room?
Every day while I'm watching, I'm like, I want to see this. I want to see this so bad, because there's just so much funny stuff happening.
Did you know the show well before you started this?
I'd seen it several times, and of course in college we read it and all of that jazz. But yeah.
So was this sort of a dream role you wanted to play when you saw Noises Off?
You know what? I never ever thought that I'd play a role where I'd be in my underwear. Ever. I was like, oh no, I'd never be that person. And
Here it is.
Do it a year after I give birth. Great. Yeah, that's a great idea, Megan. Why don't you do that? Drive yourself crazy.
Look, stunning.
Oh, thank you.
So just talk about the role.
Okay. I play Brooke, who is playing Vicky in Nothing On, the play that they're doing within the play. She is an actress. She has done things before, but she's never had a speaking role before. So this is a big deal for her. In her past roles, she's not worn much clothing either. So that's not anything new for her. She's very comfortable, but she's trying very, very, very hard to get her words right in this show.
I was talking to Jeremy, I'm like, so much will have to do with the audience of this show because there's so much physical comedy, and I'm sure they're that added character that will be thrown into the mix at the end.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be a surprising element, but the way it plays, like, it's playing just fine, you know. I'm sure that will be a wonderful, like, fueling energy, but just to play it is amazing. And
It's brilliantly crafted, this piece. I mean, the timing, everything about the show is in the play.
He spent decades perfecting it, and Michael Frayn goes to every show and he's been changing it along the way. I mean, so we have an incredible map to follow. You know, we're like, everything has a purpose, so we're doing it.
And being here during the holiday season, I mean, how exciting is that to be on Broadway during this time of year?
I love working over Christmas, so I'm really excited. I love being in a theater and you know, doing Sunday brunches and doing little, you know, holiday things. I'm really excited to be on Broadway over the holiday season, and the audiences are wonderful too. Everybody's so excited to be here.
What a show to return in!
Come on, it's a masterpiece. It really is. And I don't know, you know, every single one of my friends who has asked me, what are you doing next? When I say Noises Off, every one of them lights up. I love Noises Off. And people do. People love this piece, especially theater people. People who love going to the theater, people who do theater. It's a loving homage to this crazy art form.
You know, it's so beautifully written. I have the fondest memories of seeing Dorothy Loudon in the original Broadway production. I mean, it is flawless. I mean, talk about who you play.
I play Tim Allgood, who is the long-suffering stage manager of this poor play, Nothing On, which is the play they're trying to put on within our play, The Farce Inside the Farce. And I'd like to think I'm doing sort of a loving tribute to every tortured stage manager I've ever worked with. You know, they are often the first person in the theater and the last person out at night, and they
get blamed for everything.
And they get blamed for everything. If there's a problem, guess who gets has to deal with it. And unfortunately, poor Tim in this show has all the odds stacked against him. When we meet him, he's been building the set by himself for days. He hasn't slept, and everything that could go wrong for poor Tim does. But it is a thrill to even get to take a stab at this material. You know, this is one of those scripts where you read it. Often you find yourself interpreting a script. You don't need to interpret this one. Just do what it says. Just open it up and do what it says, because Michael Frayn has written it painstakingly crafted to be a masterpiece, truly.
And then there's the cast.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean, I had seen every single one of these people in other things, and I had been a fan for a long time. Jeremy Shamus, I think, is one of the best actors working right now. I saw him in Clybourne Park. I mean, he's just so funny. And I think the one thing I can say about all of them is that they're all brilliant comedians, but they're all brilliant actors first. And I think that that's what makes a good farce. A lot of times people think you hire the goofiest, silliest people you know for a farce. It's actually not true. You hire the people whose feet are very much so on the ground, because the audience needs to root for them and care about them, because the circumstances are what are going to seem extraordinary, not the people thrown into them. The more you can believe in the people thrown into the ridiculous circumstance, the more the comedy shines.
You're a master at physical comedy.
Oh.
You must be so excited to like delve into that end of it.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the set is such a playground. You know, front of the stage, backstage, and props everywhere. I've lovingly coined the term propstitution. I think I am unapologetically a prostitute, and this show caters to that. There's lots of opportunities for a prostitute like me.
I love that you have to have a shirt made like that.
Exactly.
And being here at Roundabout.
Oh, come on. It's my first time working on a Roundabout Broadway production. I'm excited. I mean, I've loved their work for such a long time. They do great things. And I was thrilled when they called. It's a profound honor. Really is. And on their 50th.
I love this. Here we are. What's it like working with this company so far in rehearsal?
It's funny. Let me tell you, we're not supposed to laugh at rehearsal. We're being very disciplined about it. But oh my Lord, I mean, it's a masterclass watching this company do their thing. Belinda's the sane one, so you know she tries to keep it together as long as possible. But even she at the end, I mean, not to spoiler alert, everyone unravels.
Well, let's talk about her. What is she like so far? I know you're like a week and a half in rehearsal. Did you know the show before you started?
I did. I saw the last revival. My friend Paul Fitzgerald was in it. Yes, and he was so wonderful. I remember going out with him afterwards and saying, "You must be exhausted, honey." And I never thought I'd get to play this part. So it's a real gift.
So talk about what she does in the show. Who is she so far?
She's the mother hen. She's the sane one in the company. ish, and she takes care of everyone. She knows everyone's line and entrance, and so she thinks that there is no problem or catastrophe she can't handle.
All right. Then all hell breaks loose.
And then she can't handle it.
Just being here at Roundabout.
Yes, it's been a while. I did Marriage of Bet and Boo here, the other theater, and it feels like coming back to a family reunion. It's so great to know everybody and to recognize all the staff in front of the, and behind the scenes. So it's a great homecoming.
What a brilliant director you get to work with Jeremy.
Yes. I did a reading for him about 2 years ago, and that's how this evolved. And then out of the blue, this happened. So it was a wonderful early Christmas present, really, to get this job.
Because I asked him, I'm like, how are you controlling the rehearsal room? I mean, everybody is a master at comedy. The show's full of comedy,
Yes. You have to play the scene and not the joke, and he's really good about that. This company's really good about that, and it's like training for an athletic event. And when you do finish a scene or an act, you feel like you've crossed a finish line in a marathon, and it's so exhilarating. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when you hear laughter out there.
When you put the audience into the mix.
Yes. It's out of control. I mean, it's the most brilliantly constructed farce. It's a masterpiece.
Welcome back to Broadway. How does it feel?
Oh, I'm so excited to be back. I really am. It's great. Last experience, long time ago, almost 15 years. So it's wonderful to be back. I've done some off-Broadway things in the meantime, but this is the, I guess it's the Big Apple for real.
Yeah. What a great way to return. What do you love about Noise is Off? How well did you know the show?
Well, I do remember the show from the Dorothy Loudon production. That's the production that I saw. And I just remember thinking to myself, someday I hope I'm able to do that play, because I've never seen a group of people have so much fun. And it's the way I feel right now, is that I'm just, the rehearsals, I said to Jeremy, our director, yesterday, we were working on the second act, which is where both plays are happening at the same time. I said, I bet you it was easier to organize D-Day than to figure out how to block this act. And that's the fun of it, that's the fun of it. And being with these people, because they're all essentially actors who do comedy. And so they understand, as Jeremy said day one, the way to make this work is to keep it real. And then when you are being truthful and real, you can be as big and broad as you want to be, because it's based in the truth. So there may be a few moments of overacting on my part, but I think it'll be all right.
Ham is good on Broadway. I love ham.
Yes, I do too.
Especially in this.
Yes, exactly. Ham and grits for my taste.
Talk about the role you play.
Well, I play Selsden, who is an aging alcoholic actor. A bit of a stretch, but I'll try. And he's just somebody like very old school guy who shows up in tweeds and, a tie and is always immaculate, except he does have a very distinctive odor, and which they do comment about. And he likes to have a little Dutch courage, a little nip in the corner, and sometimes he gets a bit carried away.
And all hell breaks loose.
All hell breaks loose. He's deaf, and so he never quite knows when his cues are happening. When his entrances come, he can almost never be found. But when he's out there, he doesn't miss a beat, very professional.
We were just talking about what an incredible cast, and talk about full circle with, being creative and everything else. You go back with Campbell Scott.
Oh my God, Campbell, I think one of his very first TV films was a thing called A Perfect Tribute that a friend of mine named Dennis Brown wrote. And Campbell and Jean Triplehorn were more or less making their TV movie debuts, but we had Jason Robards and Jose Ferrer, Ed Flanders, and the list goes on and on. I mean, it was really extraordinary, about Abraham Lincoln. And Jason, who was, not that tall, wore 12-inch Cothurni around the set, and poor man was in makeup at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think I was there for 6 weeks and I never saw him looking like anything but Lincoln. But anyway, yes, that's the thing about the business. We just keep going around and around with each other.
Well, here we are.
Yes.
What's it like living in the world of Noise is Off so far? Tell me.
It's hilarious because, because it's a play within a play, it's also, when we are rehearsing, it's kind of a play within a play within a play. So it's, funny things happen in rehearsal, and it's like, can we use that in the show? Because that was absolutely hilarious. It's such a funny group of people that it's it sort of never stops the comic role. So sometimes we have to just like say, okay, we're stopping for a second just to discuss something technical, because we could go on forever, you know.
Yeah. What a great cast you're working with.
Yeah, it's just the best. It's like it's really, everybody brings such an incredible comic, history, but also just skill and instincts and funny bones. So the whole room is just filled with, improvisational madness. And then at the same time, the play is so structured, so, you get the best of both worlds. It's like Michael Frayn wrote this really structured thing that everybody's just insane inside of. And Jeremy Herron is organizing it, like a crazy orchestra. So it's a blast.
Talk about who you play.
I play Frederick Fellows, who is something of an idiot, in a good way, and very sort of, I don't remember the question, that kind of a guy, but nice about it. He's very earnest. He's trying. He's had some personal problems leading into the show, so that sort of informs a lot of his inability to focus and concentrate.
I cannot wait. And being here at Roundabout, what it means to you?
Yeah, I've never worked at the American Airlines Theatre. I've worked at the Laura Pels, so I love Roundabout, but it's fun to be doing a Broadway show with them, and it's a great place to, that they assembled this incredible cast is a real triumph.
It's a great play. It's a genius play, which makes it daunting for obvious reasons, because you think, what if we suck? And everybody thinks, that's a brilliant play. They screwed it up. But then there's Jeremy Herron, who I met and loved him almost immediately, and thought, okay, that's a good. And then you hear the names, and you're like, all right, I gotta, let's be a part of this.
This is a stellar cast. I mean, what a brilliant cast. Yeah. What was that first table read like for you? I asked Andrea, what was it like for you?
Well, what'd she say?
She loved it because you just, there's nothing like that first day. I've spoken to a lot of actors when you start to hear things come off the page.
There's no doubt. Yeah. There's no doubt. And because, let's face it, you've been playing all the parts yourself and thinking, well, this is how it should sound, or this is how it will sound, and then you get there and it doesn't. And you know some of the people and you don't. And I mean, I've known Danny for years, and Andrea I kind of know a little bit, but I've never worked with anybody. And you're hoping that it's, that Jeremy has some good things to say, and that you can see the forward movement happening already, and sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you're immediately like, what the hell is this going to be, And that hasn't been the case so far. Also, the great thing about this is that we're immediately up. You only have so much time. It's the nature of the play that, obviously, even in our Act 2, that, is completely physical. And wonderful Lorenzo Pizzoni is helping us with that as well. So that's that's a good thing, because you don't have any time to think. You're just up and doing it. And these guys learned the play within a play in 2 days. They staged it. It was insane. It's amazing to watch.
Now, who do you play? Talk about your role.
I play Lloyd Dallas, who is the director of this psychotic evening, we try to play him straight and play him for keeps, all of us, and he has a certain amount of, I think, underlying anger. I'm not sure if that's because of where his career is or anything like that, but that hopefully makes us identify with him in some way, and makes it seem like he wants to go a certain way, but ultimately just can't even watch anymore, and that's the way we feel too in the audience.
So here we are.
Here we are.
First of all, welcome back to New York.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I love this town, and it's great to be back.
And tell me, when did you first fall in love with Noises Off?
Well, I remember seeing Noises Off at the age of 13 in Michael Blakemore's production at the Savoy Theatre in the West End of London. It must have been the third or fourth cast, and I just realised it was then and there that it was just a beautiful mechanism. It's the kind of purring bit of theatrical engineering. And so I've always been looking for an opportunity to do it. It's revived in London. It has been revived recently, so I couldn't see the opportunity to do it in London. And then talking to Roundabout, it felt like the perfect choice, because everyone loves Noises Off.
There's so much, it's about a play within a play within a play. There's so much technical, physical comedy that goes on. How do you work on it in the rehearsal room?
Well, I've got two really brilliant colleagues. I've got an associate director called Mikey Perlman, and I've got our stunt and physical comedy consultant. He's a guy called Lorenzo Pizzoni. He was a clown who's absolutely brilliant. So between the three of us and the actors, we've created this nice collaborative environment where we're just chipping away at the business, and it's an incredible amount of work. I mean, it really is. I wanted to do it partly because I love it, but partly because it would really test me as a director. And it's one of those things that I'm realizing that if we get it right, then the audience won't notice our work, you know. So that's almost like the perfect result for me. I really love to just disappear into the work and hide behind the actors and the script. So, you know, if we get it right, that'll work. But I'm getting great help.
Stellar cast. I mean, how do you keep everybody with a straight face in the rehearsal room?
Well,
I mean, Andrea Martin was saying the same thing. She was, we just sit there, we laugh.
Yeah. And it's impossible to. I mean, the trouble is that we need to be careful that we're not having too good a time, and that actually it is really hard work. You know, there's a lot of laughs, but there's a lot of head scratching, just purely because of the logistics. That so and so has to be here with a plate of sardines in order to take a bottle of whiskey from that character before that one dresses up as a sheik. You know, you've got to get these things exactly right, and some of those are really complicated problems. But we're never too far away from a really big laugh. And you know what's happening at the moment in rehearsals is that life is imitating art, or rather art is imitating life more specifically, and we find ourselves having very noises off conversations.
And being here at Roundabout, what it means to you?
Well, Roundabout seems to be a really wonderful organisation that really puts the art at the centre of the work, and so it's really interesting correspondence, I think, to be doing not for profit, but with Broadway values. So it feels like the best of both worlds to me.
Well, the other thing is, I'm sure it's like directing a musical. This is such a massive comedy.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get it. And I suppose what's really brilliant is that we've got decent previews, which means that once we get it into decent enough shape, then our audience will be able to come and help us direct it. So, you know, we'll be able to tell very quickly whether it's working or not, because it's not a complicated transaction with the audience, you know. If it's working, they'll laugh. If it isn't, they won't. So, you know, they'll be our guide.